All right. Hello, everybody. A little bit off schedule here, but just wanted to do an update about the ongoing saga with the Stillman and Birn sketchbooks. You might have seen some of my posts earlier where I talked about this, but as you can see, I filled many of these. This is the Stillman and Birn Alpha 9x12 spiral bound. I've used over 60 of these at this point and have taken them all over the place and made hundreds of videos on YouTube, nature journaling and sketching, where I talk about them. This has been my favorite sketchbook for a long time. Unfortunately, there have been some issues with them. I might have shared that I noticed that the covers had been the quality of the covers had changed significantly, and the quality of the inside paper on the inside cover seemed like it had changed. Several art stores sort of gaslighted me about this and told me that I was seeing things and that the covers were literally the same. Unfortunately, this was triggering for me because I was worried that one of my favorite art supplies was going to get discontinued or reduced in quality or something like that. The price for these still hasn't gone down, so that's part of the problem. So I think I mentioned that in a previous video. And then my most recent one that I had purchased had a terrible defect with the paper. So you might be able to see in this light that there's some folding up here on the page. This one's not that extreme, but you'll see that some of these other pages have it worse. See that fold in the paper? And I found that in this particular book, over half of the pages had something like that. And that was more than just, someone told me at one of the art stores, oh, well, at least they just reduced the quality of the cover. The paper quality hasn't been reduced, right? So I received this one that I recently purchased, and it had over half of the pages had some type of paper problem like that. And so really, that was really worrisome for me. But what I went ahead and did, since the art stores didn't really seem to be listening to me, one art store listened to me, but then nothing really happened about it. The other art store, they kind of just blew me off. And I'm not going back to that art store again because it's not the first time that happened. So what I did is I went to the Stillman and Birn website and sent them an email. They actually got back to me right away. And I asked them about the quality of the cover. That was before I bought that defective paper one. And they told me that indeed the cover had been changed. And the difference is they were no longer able to get and this is information I wanted to pass on to you all, because I try to pass on as much information about supplies and the sort of behind the scenes as possible. So here you can see the two different cover types. Obviously, they reflect very differently. This is the really nice feeling one that they used to have. Look at how the embossing of the brand name also works really well. This is how they all used to be. And this is how they are now. Can you believe that some art stores told me that I was imagining things when I said there was a difference? So the person from Stillman and Birn that got back to me said that the only thing that they changed was their supplier is no longer able to provide the matte finish. They said it's the same material and everything should be the same quality, but they're not able to provide the matte finish. I'm not really sure if that's all there is. I think there's a difference besides just the finish. Like if you look at the embossing and the texture, I think there's a bigger difference going on there. They promised me it was just the cover, so then that sort of settled me down for a little bit. But then I got this one in the mail with that those terrible problems with the paper on the inside, and I sent photos to the person from quality control, and they said, "Oh, we're so sorry. I am ashamed of that product." And so they sent me a new one for free in the mail. So the moral of the story here is that it's important, if you have issues with art supplies as a consumer, to reach out directly to the company. Sometimes you should reach out to the art stores as well, but sometimes the art stores are not going to do anything from my experience. So I got this one in the mail, and I've been waiting to open it to share with all of you. Fingers crossed the paper inside is fine. It it still has that new cover, which I don't like as much. I'm assuming it has that. Oh my gosh, this almost looks like it has the old cover on it. Let's open this up and see what's going on here. If this has the old cover on it, I'm gonna freak out. It kind of looks like the old cover. What? Oh my goodness. I have not seen Alpha series with this cover in a long. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. I need to ask for more. So I don't know what this means. Maybe this is their back stock or something, but this is a brand new in the wrapper Alpha series, and look at how it has that that original cover that feels a lot more quality than this one right here. Look at can you see the reflection difference, or how about the difference in the embossing? Do you see that? This is crazy. I am going to email them. Maybe I should have opened this sooner. Okay, well, let's check the paper. One interesting thing to do would be to compare the wrapping. But okay, let's get in here. Make sure the paper's okay, because yeah, this is what I want to see. So it's still, actually, I can't tell what the paper on the inside might be the better paper on the inside front cover too. I wonder where this was in stock. There's some stain there, maybe. Okay, paper looks good so far. All right, well, maybe I should just ask them to send me like 50 more, because I think these are the original good ones. At least they have the color, the original cover. So depending on where you shop, it's possible that the Alpha and Burn Stillman and Birn Alpha series has that new cover that I don't think is as good. But what I have noticed is the Beta series still has the original cover. So before I got this new one sent to me for free by the company, I purchased more of these Beta series. The paper is twice as heavy, so you get fewer sheets. That means this sketchbook doesn't have 100 pages. It only has 50, as in 25 sheets, 50 pages, but it does still have that original cover. And for me, for whatever reason, that's actually important. These are the little things that I fuss about some of this, so that when I'm in the field, everything else is the same and I can just focus on the nature journaling. So I just wanted to give you an update about that, and just a reminder that if you're having issues with any of your art supplies, it's really easy to be sort of a fatalistic complainer. I know that I do that sometimes, and I just, maybe part of my personality is to think like things in the world are just getting worse in some ways. The art supplies are getting worse again, and then it stresses me out, and I worry about it, and then they're expensive and blah blah blah. But so in this case, maybe, it's not the end of the world, but I do like to know that my art supplies are a certain way. So that's part of why I've been getting these Beta series and experimenting with those, because they still have the original cover. That's it for tonight on the Nature Journal show. It's a transition period right now for the show, so be flexible. Some different things are coming out, some special things for Patreon members. I'm going to be sending out the art toolkit, traveling art toolkit, tomorrow for Patreon members. Consider supporting the show. Big changes ahead. Some interesting stuff that I'm going to share with you coming up around a conservation project. So stay tuned for that, and lots of good tips. This tree right here, this could be the last time that anyone paints it before it gets cut down. It's a 200-year-old tree in San Diego. I'm going to, in the next few days, find out if nature journaling can really actually do anything significant for conservation. Can it be a tool for helping protect this tree that might get cut down here in San Diego, where I'm at right now? So stay tuned for that, and more stuff coming soon. Check out my Patreon to learn more. There's a lot of content on there. If you ever feel like, oh, there wasn't a new episode this week, where's Marley, what's happening, there's a lot of back content in the archives. A lot of it's organized into playlists, so you can check that out on Patreon or even just in my YouTube playlists. All right, thanks for joining in, Cindy. Thanks for joining in, and everyone else who's watching this one live. I'll see you next time. Bye.